empty, pointing every finger at me, waiting like a stalking butler who upon the finger rests. Murder now, the path is must we, just because the sun has come. Jesus, won't you fucking whistle something but the past and done? Jesus, won't you fucking whistle something but the past and done? Done, done. Why can't we not be sober? I just wanna start this over. Why can't we dream forever? I just wanna start things over. I am just a worthless liar, I am just an imbecile. I will only complicate you, trust in me and fall as well. I will find the center in you, I will chew it up and leave. I will work to elevate you, just enough to bring you down. Mother Mary, won't you whisper something but the past and done? And done. Mother Mary, won't you whisper something but the past and done? Done. And done. Why can't we not be sober? I just wanna start this over. Why can't we dream forever? I just wanna start things over. I am just a worthless liar, I am just an imbecile. I will only complicate you, trust in me and fall as well. I will find a center in you, I will chew it up and leave. I am just a worthless liar, I am just an imbecile. I will only complicate you, trust in me and fall as well. I will find a center in you, I will chew it up and leave. Trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me. Why can't we not be sober? I just wanna start things over. Why can't we sleep forever? I just wanna start this over. I want what I want, I want what I was born in the summer of his 27th year, coming home to a place he'd never been before. He left yesterday behind him. You might say he was born again. You might say he found a key for every door. When he first came to the mountains, his life was far away, on the road and hanging by a song. But the string's already broken and he doesn't really care. It keeps changing fast, it don't last for long. But the Colorado Rocky Mountain High, I've seen it rain and fire in the sky. The shadow from the starlight is softer than a lullaby. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. He climbed Cathedral Mountains. He saw silver clouds below. He saw everything as far as you can see. And they say that he got crazy once, and he tried to touch the sun, and he lost a friend but kept the memory. Now he walks in quiet solitude, the forest and the streams, seeking grace in every step he takes. His sight is turned inside himself to try and understand the serenity of a clear blue mountain lake. And the Colorado Rocky Mountain High, I've seen it rain and fire in the sky. Talk to God and listen to the casual reply. Rocky Mountain High, high Colorado. Rocky Mountain High, high Colorado. Now his life is full of wonder, but his heart still knows some fear of a simple thing he cannot comprehend. Why they try to tear the mountains down to bring in a couple more people, more scars upon the land. And the Colorado Rocky Mountain High, I've seen it rain and fire in the sky. Though he'd be a poor man if he never saw an eagle fly. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado, Rocky Mountain High, I've seen it rain and fire in the sky. Friends around the campfire, and everybody's high. Rocky Mountain High, high Colorado. Rocky Mountain High, Mountain High, right Colorado. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Rocky Mountain High, Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Rocky Mountain High, Rocky Mountain High.
Welcome, my friends, to Xbox Era. If you're new here, let me fill you in. Xbox Era is a platform for the Xbox community with best-in-class forums, a kick-ass Discord server, and of course, xboxera.com, your destination for the best news, reviews, and features, all focused on your favourite platform, Xbox. It's every Xbox fan's gateway to the best of Xbox Era. Our incredible podcasts listened to in over 50 countries worldwide, our in-depth reviews, our own merch store for the coolest in gaming threads, and of course Day One, where you can track, rate and discuss your favourite games on Xbox Game Pass. We're a small, agile and independent publication, and importantly, we're completely funded by you. If you value having a publication truly focused on your preferred place to play, you can become one of the cool kids by supporting us directly via Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/Xbox Era. You get cool swag and awesome perks, and we get to keep doing what we do. Become a part of the best Xbox community on the internet and help us grow even larger. Thank you for your support. Xbox Era is only made possible by the support of an amazing community, and in particular our legendary and growing army of Patreon supporters. Our executive producers, Top, The Scarecrow 121, Peter B, Not Jack, Mohammed Sherez, Kevin S, Korkenstein, Jordan White, Jordan Andow, Frankie C, Terran H, and Britt. Our amazingly generous grand benefactors who take their support and dedication to Xbox Era to another level. Krat56 and Assassin. And then there's our boss, our leader, our shining light in times of darkness, the one and only Xbox Era CEO, Torn Raptor. You guys are all fucking awesome. If you enjoy the content Xbox Era produce and want more of it, and you're not a patron, consider heading over to patreon.com/Xbox Era, pledge your support, and get cool swag in return. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Xbox Era Headlines. The date is February the 20th. Today, Jesse and I will be taking you through all of the latest in gaming news from across the video game industry, such as it is. As a bonus for our wonderful Patreon community, we make audio versions of these episodes available to them via Patreon to listen to in their preferred podcast app. But if you're on Spotify, you can link your account to Patreon and listen to it there instead. If you would like to become a wonderful person and support us directly on Patreon, head to patreon.com/Xbox Era. Hi, Jesse. How are you?
I am A-okay. How are you?
I'm not well. I'm not well. I think,
going to Vegas. I'll do that.
I don't know. I feel very, very run down in not in a good way. And the weirdest thing is my arms hurt, and I can't think of a better way to put it. But my arms hurt.
It pretty much feels like
them out.
Everyone who goes to any of these big shows to get and hangs out and is on planes for a long time, you are going to get sick in some way.
But yeah, but the thing was, I felt fine when I got back, aside from the arms hurting thing, right? Like, and it is really bizarre, like to the point where it feels like the inside of my arms is bruised in some way.
There's a good
both
chance
arms occurred at the same time.
There's a good chance that you got sick right at the end. Like,
yeah, it's entirely possible. I won't preclude that from being a possibility. But yeah, like the jet lag's still kicking my ass. I woke up at 1 a.m. Pleasingly, though, I have solved what to do at 1 a.m. By playing a lot of Avowed. Like, okay, I'm going to admit it. It's the first time in a long time. It's got its hooks in. I am enjoying playing through Obsidian's latest RPG. I never thought I'd dive so happily into one, but it is a gorgeous place that I'm thoroughly enjoying exploring. And what I really like about it is there's a lot of parkour type platforming almost.
It's got really good movement.
Like that exploration loop is really rewarding, along with really fun combat.
Yep, and it's the thing I keep trying. Like Nick keeps trying to say to me, "Hey, are you? It looks like it feels a little off or floating." Like, nope, it's insanely tight as far as movement goes. Like the one of the harder things to get through, and I do think it's one of the reasons it's a little harder for them to have showcased is the feel of it, and it feels really good, whether you're on a controller or a mouse and keyboard. Like the actual movement, the level design with the verticality and the way you feel rewarded for finding stuff. The rewards are pretty standard of you're going to find more crafting items and potions and stuff. There's not like some ridiculous loot table, which I actually think is a benefit after things like Elden Ring, where there's 3,300 in-game items and you just never think to use most of them. But yeah, no, I really like it. I like all the play styles too. I like ranged combat, whether it's physical or magic. I like the melee stuff. Like, it's a super fun, well-made, and shockingly pretty game.
I'm rocking a sword and shield combo, and with my secondary being a wand with the grimoire for magical fun. But yeah, excellent Avowed. Like, congrats to Obsidian. Like, it's rare. It's rare.
No, it's Obsidian.
Fantasy RPG. It's rare for a fantasy RPG to really like grab me, but this, I've been playing it.
Their world is like the world they built around Aora and Pillars 1 and 2, and then this pretty much being seemingly very shortly after 2, like maybe a year or two after 2 goes on. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it's good times. So hello to everybody in the chat. Welcome. Love to see you all, as per usual, including our CEO, who says that I'm not poorly. It's just the lack of patrons that's hurting me. Maybe you're right.
And thanks to
people to subscribe on Patreon.
With us being a very US heavy website and our economy doing what it do and people being fired like they're being fired, I understand. Anyone who has to cancel the Patreon or anything like that, trust me, I get it. It's
you got to look after number one.
Yeah,
you got to look after number one.
It's a bit of a scary situation if you have a job tied to the government at all right now.
Well, that'll teach you guys for serving up so much woke slop. I can't. Take it seriously.
You sound like the CEO of GameStop.
We'll get into that. Get into that. Let's hit on those buzzwords. Get those angry people angry.
I already got some people angry with my review of PGA Tour 2K25, which went live this morning a little late on YouTube because I really thought I had it scheduled, but I did not. It's more PGA Tour from the devs that made the golf club. It's probably their best version of it, but it's just a golf game. Like, it's exactly what you expect, but not anything more. It's got 11 people total on the roster because the focus really is on your created character and hopefully spending money on your created character. It does have Shooter McGavin, Christopher McDonald from Happy Gilmore, the actor. I had somebody say it only looks bad because you only played on created courses. Like, no, man, all these courses are the real ones. It's only the created courses when I specifically am talking about the course creator, which is neat. But it's whatever. It's expensive. It's 2K sports style of monetization. You can just spend $70 and grind it out a lot better. The rewards are actually really bad for completing like your quests and stuff in the My Player mode during review, and they bumped, and everyone was like, hey, this is going to take like 7 months to hit level 99 if you don't spend a bunch of money, and they upped it a ton, so they did listen on that. So it's a lot better now. I think it's fine if you get some friends to want to play it with you maybe, but like when you look here at the golfers, there are 11 total, including one who is an actor, which was surprising. But also it's because like the PGA Tour and Live Golf are in this weird dance of people going across, and won't they merge? And yeah, like
I was just watching the footage there, the reflection of the water changing as the camera went. Like, it's just like a really bad.
And this is 30 FPS mode, because if you play on 60, it looks a lot worse. Because it's running in Unity. Because it's what the devs know, I'd imagine. Also, as you see, there's no easy way to see the wind.
Really flat.
Yeah, none of it's good. It's not. Then like some of the reviews, and I fully believe that people feel the way they feel, but some of the reviews are like, "Man, this game's gorgeous." I'm like, "What?" It is not. It is actually It's pretty ugly overall.
Do you know what it reminds me of in a lighting way for some reason? Last gen Forza, like kind of weirdly
Muted. Yeah, the
yeah,
color
like
grading. Yeah,
it's just I don't know, man. It's just
and
hey, look, golf is fucking boring.
yeah. I mean, I
It's
covered it.
really any interest from me.
I don't mind golf games, but I mainly did this one for like it's 2K. It's a big publisher, a good PR thing to keep me just give them a good, honest review, and they'll be happy type of thing. I don't mind me a fun golf game. I just didn't find it in this,
Yeah,
but
like,
others
fun
have. It's got a
golf.
good overall Open Critic score. So
Hey, opinions. What do we say? What do we say?
it's what
Opinions
you
alike?
say.
Oh, okay.
I made Goth, Carl, Breton, and Analuski from Aqua Teen Hunger Force as my player. And I made
What a
sure I spelled
fun,
his name right.
weird-looking man.
The last thing I would say is on Xbox, both myself and Jason Finelli, who reviewed it there, I had over 50 crashes and he had over 30, I think he said. Pretty much anytime you engage with the Xbox UI while playing, writing in names, taking screenshots, anything like that, it has a very high chance of freezing. At least in my my frustrating experience. So yeah, that's PGA Tour. There's a full review up if you care.
Man. Yeah, I'm just reading in the chat. One of our wonderful Patreon members, Terrin, who was on the list a long time ago, but has earned a reprieve because he's had a run of bad luck. Best of luck to you, Terrin. I hope it all works out, man. Like, I've been there. It's not fun, and you think, what? Ugh.
Yep.
This world, man, like there's so many like just horrible stuff happening all the time. Like, it just feels like it's getting worse and it's not getting better.
Well, there's at least we're starting with a happy news topic.
Yeah, let's get into something that definitely people haven't had any overreactions to at all. Microsoft and Xbox revealed their new MUSE generative AI gameplay model with a short trailer. This was published over on Xbox Wire. Right, I'm going to open this with a caveat. I think the majority of AI stuff is dumb. Right? I think stuff like ChatGPT and like using it to summarize stuff and
it has really good uses for cutting out the boring middle part of coding. Like a lot of people I know that do coding, like Senor Bean and many others are like, yeah, I can just offload the boring basic stuff. And then it lets me jump into the more refined things I have to cover first. And
absolutely. And when
that's
it comes
about
to game development, like this is to me, and again, I'm not a game developer, so what the hell do I know? But I'm not going to start freaking out about this because like this is never going to be able to make a game.
And
but what this kind of thing could lead to is another tool to help the people that make games make better games or make games easier. And that's not a bad thing, but it's AI, so we've got to hate it, lest we be
the bad thing they said was it's generative AI, and people immediately think that means, okay, it's a text box that makes images or videos. Oh, this one's going to make a game. And what they actually talked about, and the main thing they talked about was it is a tool to try and let you iterate in parallel when you're working on something. So it's not a text box. It's like it is this thing that lets you say, okay, I've got this scene and I want to add in this item. I'll do it with this tool, see how it works. And if it works, then actually do it in the game. Like it doesn't create anything. And then they tried to talk it up for the regular person by saying, "Oh, we can have video of old games that are lost to time and rebuild them for preservation." And people lost their minds saying, "Just use emulation." It was like, well, no. The way they talked about it was a very specific use case that'll never actually happen because this stuff just doesn't work that way. But this was a very investor-focused blog and video that was dressed up to try and sell it to regular people who are never going to accept it. It was just
and
dumb.
I mean, it was also unfortunate for Xbox that they are also Microsoft, right? Because $3 trillion Microsoft is going to do this stuff. You know, I think all the platform holders have talked about AI and using AI tools to help development.
They all are using it too. Like Capcom literally just said they're looking into AI to try and, you know, up their efficiency. Like everyone's already using it, but Microsoft as a corporation is so heavily invested into it that things like this definitely feel like they are announced to, so that then Satya can go to the shareholders and say, and look at what we're doing here. But I doubt it ever really does anything.
No. And they said they'll talk about it more at GDC. So I'll try and poke my nose in and ask questions and things. I mean, ultimately, it's not really for us. So
no, it was entirely a dev facing things, and most devs will look at it and go, nope.
And it's not really.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Jesus, came out of nowhere.
What I did find interesting from Microsoft was that they invented a new type of quantum computer. That was like, what? So I thought that was interesting. On the same day that Apple's like, here's another iPhone. Microsoft, here's an entirely new quantum PC. It's like, it's cool. There's some cool stuff.
I'm with Finn. Nintendo will use it. Sony already uses it. Like everyone uses it. The biggest thing I've learned is that transparency is bad, because people will think they're holding you to task and that you're the only one doing something when you're the only one that talks about doing what everyone else is already doing. Like even just us, where I tried to talk more open baseball about what we do and don't cover, what's coming, what's not, people then just start trying to use it as fuel to argue and get mad and shit. And it's like, this is why people don't end up talking very much. Like if I just put out the normal content we do and never said a word, it would probably be better overall than trying to give people an idea of what is or isn't coming and why things do or don't happen, which is unfortunate. And we're not a giant corporation like Microsoft deserves and can handle that a lot more than smaller creators can.
I don't know quite what you're trying to like drive towards here. Elemental Hero, the Shadow Link, Dragon Wolf King. But like you've put, but why not have actual people to help with this? Like, who do you think builds the tools?
Yeah, like it's
AI is building AI.
Yeah, like, no, this was Ninja Theory. They were the ones leading it, building this model based off of one of their own games. It is meant, so this usage of it is solely
edge.
Yeah, this use of it is solely meant to be a tool to help humans. It's not meant to create anything. And I think that's one of the main things everyone immediately jumped to is like, oh, now their games, their first party games are all going to be AI slop. And I saw like, I get people being mad. I don't like this large language model generative creation stuff either. I don't like it creating art, like, which is all over Call of Duty now. I don't like it taking over jobs from people, but this version is supposed to help. And when like people are just so against it that I saw like Jeff Gerstmann even say Xbox, who's already struggling to put out games now, their answer is to do this. I'm like, well, they're not struggling to put out games. They've published games a ton in 2020, 2021, 2022. No, 2023. Yes. 2024. Yes. Like they don't struggle to put out games, and people get so mad at the AI push from the top that they just start shitting on the actual people who do the work. So I don't think it ends up helping. Like I'm with everyone who looks at this and says, this looks stupid. And I would agree. Yes, it does.
Yeah, I feel like your internet connection's having some hiccups today. Because
it is.
There's more,
we know it is.
I feel like there's extra latency between us and we keep talking over each other. So we're going to have to be careful about this. So no, sorry, chat. We don't know what's going on.
No, it's just technical mediocre internet.
Let's put it that way.
It is insanely cold.
Quick resume. Oh, maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Quick resume podcast in the chat says, don't know if you guys have seen Skill Up's newest video, but I think it's really indicative of how crystallized the rhetoric is about Xbox not making a system seller in 2 decades. I haven't watched it.
But is it his Avowed review, or is it like the podcast?
It's taking a quote. It's taking a quote from our interview. Funnily enough. And it's got just as many views as the interview itself.
Yeah, he's got a lot of subscribers.
Yeah, of course. Korkenstein, a member for 90 months on the Xbox Era YouTube channel and a patron, which means he's supporting us doubly. Thank you very much, sir. Says, it's funny how people want less crunch time in the industry, yet here comes Muse to help with that, and people are raging about it. Not like that. I mean, the ultimate thing is it's just an initial research project. It's not out there yet
and people
doing anything.
Yeah. People don't trust. I get why, but people do not trust corporations with AI right now. So I 1000% get that. This version of it is nothing right now. It's absolutely nothing. It was a really bad, weird blog post and video. And people are getting mad at it. And it's like, you should definitely get mad because so many of these companies keep firing people to use these stupid chatbots to try and replace them, and it doesn't work well. And we're seeing it right now. U.S. government's kind of being expunged based on what a chatbot is telling the richest man in the world to do. Like, I am 1000% against this type of generative AI. If they can make a cool tool that devs like, awesome. But that seems very far away. And that whole, I think they tried to sell people on the preservation side of things. And instead of people knowing that they were saying things that have been lost to time and we only have video of, it could rebuild, which isn't going to happen anyways. But that was what they were talking about. They weren't talking about taking their older games and just that's how they AI recreate them. Like that wasn't how they were talking about preservation, really. But it's all dumb. It's just a dumb thing all around, pretty much.
There you go. That's the official thoughts from the Xbox Era team on everything. By the way, chat, just a bit of housekeeping. If you could hit the like button if you're watching on your phone, slide your thumb across if you're watching on your PC, move your mouse over. If you're watching on your TV, pick up your remote and press the buttons to give us a little thumbs up. It would be appreciated. Next up in news, this one caused a bit of stir at the beginning of the week. NetEase laid off Seattle-based Marvel Rivals dev team. Now, everyone was like, whoa, whole team, Marvel Rivals is hugely successful. I think it was like a 6-person team.
Yep, it's still, you must preface this or people get really goddamn mad at you because people are like, wow, the entire team's gone. So even if you make this huge thing, you're all fired. And it's like the main team was in China. They were always the people that we saw on like the videos leading up and all that. This was a support team of 6 people who have all lost their jobs, and it does really suck. But when you were like, it was similar to the Muse story where the actual context and the actual story of what happened didn't matter for most people. It was a thing to show that you were the most angry about. And that's when I get annoyed. It's the Recetera, like, and people, the virtue signal, like, you must see I am more angry than anyone else. And if you're not furious about this, then you're a piece of shit. When the reality is, unfortunately, 6 people who were part of an unbelievably successful launch still lost their jobs, and that really sucks. But it wasn't the whole team like people thought.
Funnily enough, one of my good friends, one of the X-level designers from Halo Infinite I worked with on Forge, was part of that Marvel Rivals team that got let go. I saw it on his LinkedIn, and I was like, no way.
Yeah, it sucks.
It does suck.
The biggest launch of last year for things that we know of, like there's always little mobile games and stuff, but hugely successful, and you still get fired once. They said they have a statement out. I don't know if it's in there or not, if you wanted to read it.
I've got it up on the screen. NetEase said in a statement that we recently made the difficult decision to adjust Marvel Rivals development team structure for organizational reasons and to optimize development efficiency for the game. This resulted in a reduction of a design team based in Seattle that is part of a larger global design function in support of Marvel Rivals. We appreciate the hard work and dedication of those affected and will be treating them confidentially and respectfully with recognition for their individual contributions. And then a bunch of reassurance to folks that like to play the game. And
the main team's all still on it. Like they've got the Thing and Johnny Storm hitting tomorrow, and we were thinking of doing a community game night tomorrow night for Marvel Rivals, because the community game nights generally need to be something that's at least in Game Pass, if not free to play. So
makes sense. Makes perfect sense. I do wonder, like when they quote organizational reasons, I have to wonder, as it's a dev team based in China, if there are some political ongoing.
Yeah, I need to, so
between the two
Juga
nations.
EX or Juga EX, where everyone calls him
I'm
Z
just going to call him
Huge.
Z Huge because
Yeah.
that's what it says on my English language side of
Yep,
things.
but if you ever play Dynasty Warriors, you know it's not cow cow.
No, I'm just teasing.
It's not cow cow like the English dub used to say. It's so and it's Juga. So Z Huge is Juga EX was talking about how it feels. He thinks NetEase might be pulling out of America and the West a bit, but I don't want to misquote him. A lot of it also, you know, translation when you're going between two different languages and stuff, it can just add time in. Also, the game has now hit over 40 million players.
Wow, huge success. Congrats.
It's not enough to keep your job for everyone, sadly.
No.
Yeah, it says to clarify, so worth noting, this round of layoffs only impacts teams in the US, not the core dev team in China. It's part of a broader reconsideration of NetEase's overseas investments in studios. The firm has pulled funding from a number of overseas teams over the past year. To clarify, this doesn't impact the game's operation, and the current roadmap is still in plan. NetEase started its reevaluation last year, leading to funding being pulled and closures of studios in Japan and the US. The reevaluation, which is still ongoing, is being undertaken for multiple reasons, but it is a bad look for NetEase to lay off a successful team, no matter the reason or how small the team is. So,
yeah, I don't disagree with any of that.
Yep, he knows the stuff.
There you go. Yeah.
And his dad jokes.
Next up, you wanted to talk a little bit about the Scuf Valor Pro controller.
Controller review. This is it because I can't think of things how to write. So if you've noticed, I've talked about this a few times. This is the Scuf Valor Pro wired Xbox controller. It is Scuf, you can tell because it says it right there. Bam. And it's got their back buttons, which only they have, which are the tap or up. That's the program button for them. You hold that down and then you just press a button in the face. It's incredible. This is one of my favorite controllers I've ever used. It feels real good. Also, if you're really into the looks, the faceplate pops right off. Once the faceplate is off, you can take this off by pulling it way harder than I thought you have to. Like so hard I thought it was going to break. Like I'll try it now. See, I've already done it once, so it came right off. But those come off. You can put the taller dome on it. It's just like...
Is it specifically wired? I'm seeing...
Specifically wired.
You have to plug a USB-C.
Yeah, Scuf Valor Pro is their wired one. They've got like the Instinct, which I have somewhere over there, which is their big old fancy wireless one, which is essentially a modded Series X controller. That also retails for like 200-ish, 230 US. Not cheap. This is 100 flat, so really goddamn nice. Like just feels great. I really like the way the plastic on the front feels. I've been using it a lot while I played PGA Tour and while I played something else that's I can't talk about. Hall effect on the joysticks, of course, which is the big thing, the big difference. Like these are anti-drift Hall effect analog sticks, so you can set your dead zone to 0 and have pretty goddamn perfect aim in any game forever, because these don't really break down and start to drift like the other ones. Highly recommend if you're in the market for a controller. That one, if your budget's roughly around 100, both that one and the Power A Fusion Pro 4 are really good. That has better back buttons, whereas the Power A's are just like little tiny micro switches built into the grips on the back, so I hit them all the time by mistake. And if you're looking for $40, you cannot do better than the GameSir G7HE. But if you're looking,
yeah, it's very popular.
That's like the best budget controller ever made. It just feels like a regular Xbox controller, but it's Hall effect everything. They're all wired for all three of those. You can get the GameSir, or you can get the Power A one wireless. I believe that's what Torn Raptor uses, and he likes it a lot. So yeah, it's a very nice controller. Highly recommend if you're looking to spend about $100.
Yeah, I can see. I was going to mention this, perhaps not in this way, but Denise Gungora says in the chat, same Scuf, the patent troll that took Valve to court because of back paddles and technology. I wouldn't call them a patent troll. They did patent the technology, and that's why Microsoft had to lease that patent in order to make the Elite
controller. And I definitely think that, and the Instinct deal is Microsoft just gives them Series X controllers. I don't know if it's free or anything like that, but the Scuf Instinct is a Series X controller that then they take and mod. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like, if you really like it.
Works out nice, I think. Works out as a fair deal.
Fair dinkum.
Fair dinkum, as Nick might definitely never say. All right. Next up you should probably have just not tried to do this. The guy that got fired from Bungie, designer Christopher Barrett, who was working on Marathon, got removed as the Marathon lead designer, was with Bungie for 25 years, was let go, citing that he was doing bad things and misconduct and other bits and pieces. Months of silence. Chris Barrett, I'm just bringing people up to speed here. Chris Barrett, just December this gone, said, "Hey, I'm going to sue you, Sony. This is a sham investigation. I should never have been fired. I'm going to prove it. I'm going to have my day in court. Yada, yada, yada." Sony have now provided what can only be described as a substantive report and response to the lawsuit, which is denying his claims and leaving zero doubt that it believes the termination last year of Barrett's 25-year run at Bungie was justified. This comes from Stephen Tortillo as Gamefile. Very nice man. There is a lot of receipts here from Sony about some of the things that this guy has texted women that were working under him.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It's funny. Jason Schreier tweeted out, he's like, "I was really surprised to see him push like this a few months ago because Schreier had seen those messages in the past." And he was like, "What the fuck are you doing, man? This is a really bad look. Holy shit. What the hell's wrong with you?" But,
very awkward. I think, I said this to a few folks while I was out at DICE, is that one thing I've learned from interviewing game developers over the years now is that, and I'm not talking the Phil Spencers of this world, but like genuine, like, I'm just a game developer, I don't speak to the media every day, blah, 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 is that a lot of game developers are introverted nerds just like us. I wouldn't necessarily describe myself as particularly introverted, but you have to have a certain way about you to have a conversation and get them opening up and actually like feeling comfortable to be able to have a chat. And I read these texts and I'm like it just cringed myself into another dimension. It was just like what someone who thinks they're trying to flirt might write. I can't think of a better way to describe it. It was bad.
What it is, it's
up bad.
A weird introverted nerd who realizes he's holding power over ladies in a way as their boss, and just being allegedly, supposedly being really scummy about it. Not it's just there. It's not. Chat? It's really not good.
Would you like me to read?
Yeah, go for it.
Would you like me to read some of these out, friends?
They do.
Sake?
Yeah.
Sony's filings include excerpts of 9 written communications, texts, DMs, etc., including the following. Barrett told Victim 3, "I hope your boyfriend doesn't mind I text you a lot. I just worry. Like, I really enjoy texting you and talking. I don't want him to get the right idea." Later in that conversation, Victim 3 told Barrett she was busy. Barrett stated, "I want your attention. So annoying."
I don't know. I don't like hearing it. I've already heard him. And I don't like hearing it again.
It's just. And then 3 weeks into Victim 5's tenure at Bungie, Barrett called her late in the evening while drunk, told her intimate details about his personal life, and asked her about who she was dating and what her type was. He sent her a personal Instagram follow request to connect that night, which she did not accept. Now, suffice to say, I don't think Sony's going to lose this one, at least right now. Like, this is not a good look. But I get it in some ways. He because of his behavior, lost like $50 million.
Yeah, some insane amount of money. Because he couldn't just. I mean, if you're going to make that much money, just when you're really desperate, just take a flight to Vegas or Nevada, go to Reno. You can find ladies.
But in a statement to Stephen Tortillo and Gamefile, Chris Barrett's lawyers blasted Sony's account of the events, saying, "Sony continues to disingenuously cherry-pick text messages and alleged conversations and make unsupported and conclusory statements to defame Christopher and justify terminating him to avoid paying him what he was owed under his employment agreements. It is telling that Sony does not include the full text messages as exhibits or the full content of these conversations, and nothing in Sony's response provides a legitimate legal or factual basis to terminate Christopher for cause. Christopher is confident when all evidence is presented, it will be clear that Sony engaged in a scheme to strip him of his role and the equity awards he'd earned for his 25 years of loyal service to the company.
Maybe that's true. We would have to say that, hey, maybe that is true.
Got a horse in this race.
We have no idea, but those text messages do look really bad no matter the context. I cannot imagine the context for a married man saying that for it to not be weird. It might not be... I don't know. In America, firing is weird. It's different in every state. I don't know how any of it works. I would just say I would not be shocked when a boss is being that way for every once in a great while it to actually lead to firing. Most of the time it doesn't, because as James Brown said, it's a man's world and we get to be pretty shitty to ladies sometimes. But yeah, I don't know. Don't like it.
It's just, like... Anyway, we'll see what happens on that one. More news when it arrives, I guess. Next up, to celebrate Avowed, which we chatted briefly about at the beginning of the show, because yes, despite my typical aversion or non-interest in fantasy RPGs, this one's gone and sucked its little hooks into me. I'm now in the second biome and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. But the UK team for marketing at Xbox decided to go one step further and recreated the game's key art by setting up an actual living bloom board in London. Now, I'm sorry to say that I think it's actually already died, because it was actually alive and it was actually using real fungus growing out of like this skeleton statue from the key art. But it looks cool. And I wish if I'd been nearer to London, I would have gone to just see it because it looked nifty. You are muted, sir. I get to say it for once.
They're doing the stuff outside, so they just went by with a gigantic lawnmower, and Savannah started barking. I think there was also a bunch of game codes around it too, which people snatched up, hopefully one at a time, but they probably didn't. But yeah, they're also selling like kits where you can grow your own mushrooms.
Mushroom bear, yeah. There is a video on that article. I don't know if you played it.
It is playing right now.
Looks like. Oh, there you go. So the latency is a bit low.
So every time it lags, it just adds more latency on, pretty much. Instead of losing the show, it adds latency instead.
Now I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. Like, and like the use of different fungi throughout Avowed is like such a key part of the Living Lands that this is a really nifty and quite artistic way of advertising the game. And I have to say, anecdotally, that comparatively to most stuff, it feels like Avowed got a genuinely massive marketing push from Microsoft this time around.
It's always
genuinely large.
A week or two before into a week or two after is when they really go hard.
It's very cool.
And also, if you refresh, you will have a lot less latency.
Yeah, but I lose weirdly on YouTube now. I lose the live chat.
Yeah, it takes a little while to come back. So that's what I'm saying. Like YouTube is always struggling, so that's why I'm never sure. Today it was me. Pretty much every other time, it's just on YouTube falling apart. I mean, they do have so much. I didn't put it in there, but Twitch is. You used to have unlimited highlight space, and so people would have like terabytes of highlights on the bigger channels, and now they're like, you get 100 hours. That's it. We're deleting everything else, and people are scrambling. It's like. You should always have a NAS. I don't, because I don't have the money. I would really like to, but you should always have local backup along with any cloud or upload stuff, because these companies are spending ungodly amounts of money to store your information for essentially free.
Yeah. I can see CEO Torn Raptor in the chat just on that Chris story. Bungie says, until it's all aired out, I wouldn't jump on the guy. It does sound bad, but Chris Avellone was dragged through the mud and was innocent of what was claimed of him in the end. I can also see Trav in the chat say, can the fungus thing cause Naughty Dog to sue like Avowed or Microsoft? I don't know, Flood, Halo. That was before Last of Us. Like, we can keep doing this dance. Fungi, giant, networked bioorganism. It's just a thing in sci-fi and fantasy, isn't it?
I
It's
think
just a thing.
he's just teasing.
Yeah, Corkenstein, if I use Edge, the chat takes like 30 seconds, no issue with Chrome for some reason. I do use Edge. But what happens is if I ever refresh, the chat disappears and it will only start up again if someone starts typing. So I won't get the old chat. I just can't see it anymore. So it's odd.
It's YouTube not liking you using Edge. They want you to use Chrome.
Yeah, well, fuck 'em. It is Chrome based. Come on.
It's Chromium based, but it's not Chrome because Chrome is a goddamn nightmare.
Yeah,
most of the time.
RAM hog.
Yeah.
Sorry, jet lag is still killing me. Next up, Sea of Thieves Season 15 has a bunch of new features and stuff and things and all of that jazz.
Maybe these will actually work.
Yeah, hopefully it's got some good quality of life patch features stuff in there.
One of the big things, and it's not all right at the start, they are doing a content rollout, but they've got 2 new megalodons who are supposed to be very mad.
The thing is, new content, except it's the same content, except one's got a fire effect and one's got a spawning enemies effect.
Yep.
So I'm like, I don't know. Like, I love Sea of Thieves. I've loved it a lot. I've got
sound like
1,000 hours in that multiplayer game, but I have to just. There's nothing still
a spear.
to excite me. Yep, there's a hunting spear. It's got an expansion to the Hunter's Call, which is the fishing and hunting.
Yeah, they're in every port now instead of just at their own islands.
Yes, and there's new wildlife in the world, in the seas, and there's wild boars. There's a new enemy type on the land, like aggressive wild boars. And then, like you said, they're doing this as a stage rollout. So Season 15 is launched. February, you'll get the Hunter's Call expansion, all the new rewards, 2 ancient megalodons, on-demand Hunter's Call fishing and raid voyages, giving crews the means to progress further. And then in March, there'll be a mid-season update, which introduces a new throwable with the hunting spear and a new range of wildlife across the land and sea. And then in April, the season comes to a close. The wild boars are out, and hunters can take on-demand voyages to track down rogue megalodons. So, yeah, it's a decent update. Like, don't get me wrong.
It's almost end of life. Like, the fact that they keep adding stuff is surprising when it's been out this long. The main team's off of it. Like, they're doing a lot for a live service game at this point.
Yeah, I mean, there is a part of me that would like to see two options, 2 ways of doing things. Either a Sea of Thieves 2, where the world is refreshed and we have more biomes and more ships per biome, and like just bigger in every regard, and just general improvements to stability, etc. Because this came out in 2017, 2018. It's an old game now
on an old version of the engine.
Yeah, so like I want to see what that could look like in a new world.
You won't, because Rare doesn't like doing sequels.
I know, but they should, because it was really good. Yeah, so we'll see. But there you go, Sea of Thieves. More Sea of Thieves if you're a Sea of Thieves fan. Except if you're a jaded Sea of Thieves fan like me, who's just played too much of it to enjoy it anymore. But if you're an Overwatch 2 fan, or just an Overwatch fan, really, because it's kind of the same thing, they're also doing a big content update, right? And this is a pretty good one if you're an Overwatch fan.
It's an enormous one. Now I have to mute myself because they're coming by with a gigantic lawnmower. Just keep it going if you want to hear the lawnmower in the background. But
I just thought it'd be funny.
Yeah. So one of the bigger things, and I will give this man a like for playing his video, Mr. Reinforce. There you go. I'll put it in the chat if people want to see this new mode, Stadium, where you play in third person, which is a big thing for Overwatch, but also it adds in
like Marvel Rivals
per round perks where, like, throughout the match you'll level up and you can choose new perks and change your character up and stuff. They literally said they were playing things too safe for a long time, and Marvel Rivals has really pushed them. Like, they just straight out said it. They were like, "Yep, we played it too safe for too long. We really need stuff to change it up, because while it's great, it's been rather similar since 2016." Like it's not people are like, oh, my Rosie. It's not like, yeah, it's 8, 9, going on 9 years old. Like it's kind of crazy. It's been this popular for this long. And so adding in the stadium mode for third person, going back to 6v6, which is something I think a lot of people really wanted, because everyone complains about Overwatch 2 existing, and the main reason it did, it seems, was because of Bobby Kotick wanting it and wanting to sell it as something new. And also they're bringing back loot boxes, which you would normally be like, wow, really, those sucks. Like, no, they were far and away the best thing in Overwatch for progression and getting your cosmetics were the loot boxes, because friggin'
I'm amused by this and the lawnmower. This is great.
The loot
this is
box,
quality content, people.
The loot box system let you get everything. You could get literally everything in the game just for playing without having to spend a penny. It was all in those boxes. And then they went to the battle pass and the store mode, which everyone was like, yay, oh shit. I know I have to spend a lot of money, and then these event things hit and I've got to spend, I don't know, oh, I want all of One Punch Man. All right, there's $80. Like it's a lot of freaking money. And but it's also it's super competitive with everything else. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you want to get all of them in Call of Duty right now, it's $90.
Yikes.
Like that's just that is what people play. People will pay that, and that is the problem. I know people always lose their minds, these evil predatory companies. It's like, yeah, I mean, but also people want to spend this money. People want to buy this shit. So that is why it ends up happening.
Who am I to judge?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it, but also I'm not going to blame a company for giving people the content they want at a price they will pay.
There you go. Cool. Thank you for that lawnmower filled update on Overwatch 2. Next up in news, Cyberpunk 2077 fans, buckle up, because CD Projekt Red are aiming for the most realistic crowds in any game for the game's sequel. Now, I think this is a bold thing to say before you've seen what GTA 6 is doing from an open world systems NPC perspective. But yeah, like, cool. That's nice to have.
Over promising is a thing around Cyberpunk.
Yeah, like maybe just wait before you start making.
Well, they had to spend $100 million over like 3 years to make it from a good into an incredible game.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Cyberpunk is incredible.
Now, but if you didn't play it before they did the update that actually made NPCs drive and not disappear the moment you weren't looking at them. Like, people are like, wow, the crowd density at launch of Cyberpunk was so much better than Avowed. It's like, yeah, but also if you turned left and then back right, they were all gone. They didn't actually exist. They didn't actually path. The cars didn't path. The cars went down a line on the road, and if you drove in front of them, they couldn't do anything. The police didn't exist. They appeared out of nowhere and then just were everywhere. Like, it was a very broken system that still had such good writing and fun gameplay that I really enjoyed it when I reviewed it at launch. But it took a long time to be in the state it is now, and people forget about that when you're this far out.
Yeah, and this is all based off of a job listing. So this is coming from Jordan Midler over at Video Games Chronicle. They recently posted a series of job openings for the upcoming RPG, which gives the first indications of the ambition of the project. Among the daily responsibilities for this particular one, successful applicants will be expected to work in close collaboration with the systems design team to create the most realistic and reactive crowd system in any game to date. Yeah, this is all obviously for the Project Orion, which is basically Cyberpunk 2077 2, and it's being headed by CD Projekt Red's new North American arm, which has studios in both Boston and Vancouver.
Yeah, they're very big. CD Projekt Red, much like Larian, is way bigger than people think.
Absolutely. And they're also working, obviously, back in Poland at home base. CD Projekt's next game is The Witcher 4, which was revealed at the game.
Which I am excited about. I'm still probably one of the only people on staff that played 3, so it's definitely mine.
Yeah, I've played 3, just not for very long.
Oh, yeah. I played it, beat both of the DLCs, and loved it. Gave it a 9.5 on the re-release. One of the best games ever made.
Fair.
Also, another game that at launch had horrible movement. And they had to completely rebuild how Geralt walks. And it's a lot better now.
Is it Geralt or Geralt?
Geralt.
Geralt. Okay. Just checking.
Mhm.
Next up in news, GameStop, not to be confused with GameSpot. GameStop says it intends to sell its Canadian and French operations, which is part of the latest planned cuts as it evaluates its international assets. Now, the really funny part about this is the statement, which references some interesting reasons for this. Wokeness and DEI, I think, were what was referenced. I'm just trying to find the actual statement here. God, this website is just so full of ads. It hurts
Yeah,
my
I'm sorry. But
Ah!
well, it's funny because
Oh,
also
here we
like
go. Yeah.
yeah,
So
their CEO is so bad.
yes. The company announced the move in a brief news press release on its website. This is via Kevin Jiang over at the Toronto Star, which is a newspaper in Canada. Email m&a@gamestop.com if you're interested in buying GameStop Canada or Micromania France. GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen posted on Twitter Tuesday morning, quote, high taxes, liberalism, socialism, progressivism, wokeness and DEI included at no additional cost if you buy today. What the fuck are we doing here, people?
He's a really allegedly, supposedly, just an awful human being in every way. But also, they turned it into a really shitty Spencer's gift full of Funkos. That's like the main reason it's fallen apart. Instead of actually being anything anyone would want to go into, it's a Funko shop. Like,
yeah, interesting. They've already exited their operations in Ireland, Switzerland, and Austria. Sold its Italian subsidiary in November of last year, and is winding down its German operations reportedly by the January by this month. Already done, apparently. We'll see. But yeah, yikes, Jesus,
yikes, Mbara. Oop, there goes the internet again.
No, not that bad. Okay. Next up, last couple of news stories to wrap things up here. And I'm going to do this deliberately. The Pillars of Exile co-director for the Path of Eternity team, Chris Wilson. Has that offended everyone now? Have I done that right? Is everyone offended?
No, they don't care.
Okay. The Path of Exile co-director, Chris Wilson, has left Grinding Gear Games. This comes via GameDeveloper.com. If it ever loads their website. There it goes. From Justin Carter, contributing editor there. Recent document filings show Chris Wilson silently exited Grinding Gear Games, which was the studio that was co-founded in 2006. He ceased his role as managing director on January 21st of this year.
Yeah, company, by the way, named after Peter Griffin's That Really Grinds My Gears segments from the Family Guy show.
Amazing. You know what really grinds my gears? You, America. You. It's true.
Doesn't sound like Peter Griffin at all.
I know. I'm not American. Grinding Gear has not announced his departure on the website or social media. However, several Path of Exile players have noticed his absence in the forums and have asked of his whereabouts in recent months. So yeah, Path of Exile.
I wrote retires because a lot of people said enjoy your retirement to him on social media. So I'm just going with that. Also, I did play some. My God, I forgot how fucking fuzzy Path of Exile is on Xbox. Holy shit! It's a fun game. Not you really got to commit to it time wise. Like if you want to get good and see all the content and do the end game that's available right now, it's like fucking it's hundreds of hours and lots of study on their enormous talent tree and stuff. Like it's super. It is there for the people that really love it. And I still have the $320 edition on my Xbox because they just sent that code for some reason. I don't know why. I won't complain. Look how fabulous I look. Because those editions just give you cosmetics. So I have a lot of cosmetics and a lot of tab space. So hooray. I will try and review it when 1.0 hits, because that I cannot do early access. I have learned. I have no interest in early access. Like even Hades 2, another enormous update. Don't want to touch it. It's not 1.0. I know I want to get into it and play through it and beat it for like a full review. I can't do early access.
Yeah, same. I'm looking forward to doing that for Towerborn. And what was the other one that was early access? No Rest for the Wicked.
No, I would avoid it. That game just needs fundamental changes to be good. I feel bad. Like it's a really cool premise and it looks amazing, but like it's a Diablo style. It's a Diablo Dark Souls where it misses what makes Diablo great with the loot, and it misses what makes Dark Souls great with how the actual gameplay balance and level design and stuff. Like it's just the more I've gone back to it and thought about it, I'm like I really like this just because it looks so amazing, especially in the cutscenes. But the actual product of what it is when I'm playing it just has not hit for me. But definitely we will do a full review at
I look forward to the co-op side of things because I think
it really needed
feature,
that,
right?
Yep.
Yeah, that would get me way more like, oh, okay, let's go. But yes,
you might actually, speaking of co-op real quick, you might actually be into Elden Ring Night Rain. It's super fast, high pace, quick matches, and it's just a co-op thing that's really fun to play with friends. It plays nothing like Elden Ring. It's like it is more akin to like a more deliberate Devil May Cry with super
just
moves.
A giant boss rush game, right?
So you are going through you're going through a map that's based off of the one in Elden Ring, but it's a different reality. So it's Limgrave instead of Limfeld or one or the other. Reuses a lot of their enemy types and boss types, gives you 8 different classes to play as, super fast, go through, kill stuff, level, get better gear, try and win a run. So there's tons of enemies outside of bosses, but yeah, there's a lot of bosses as well. There's super abilities and lots of leveling outside of stuff. Like it was surprisingly neat and very different. It's not a Souls game. Despite having all these Souls elements, it is not one of those.
Some breaking news.
Ooh.
Rockstar Games Grand Theft Auto 5 on PC is getting a free upgrade on March the 4th with features previously only available in the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S versions of GTA Online. This upgrade also includes improved graphics options, faster loading, and more.
That is shockingly big news because it was a bone of contention that the upgraded versions for new gen didn't have this type of shit.
Yeah, I've put the oh wow, I can't even put the link in because the URL's too long for YouTube. Wow. I would put the link in the chat, but I can't. I'll try copying this short link from the tweet. You guys can go and have a look at this if you want to. Oh, it doesn't even count as a link. There you go. Go copy and paste that into your browser. But yeah, the full patch notes are available to have a read through about all the different things and bits and pieces, new vehicles, technical enhancements. There's now support for AMD FSR 1, 3, and DLSS 3. Faster loading times using SSD and direct storage, higher resolutions, aspect ratios, and frame rates. DualSense is now supported, enhanced audio with support for Dolby Atmos. And ray tracing features on PC as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's still insanely popular, so it makes sense for them to actually do all of that work.
Yeah, and plus, fans of GTA Online will need something to tide them over until GTA 6 actually comes to PC.
And GTA 6 Online has zero chance of having the same amount of content because it hasn't had over a decade of additions. So
exactly,
people will be playing that for a long time, especially all modded up, doing their RP servers and everything. So
yeah, and that's pretty much it. Apart from this one last thing that we're going to go out on, which is a bit of good news.
Yeah, I want to end on nice news.
Industry of layoffs and sexual harassment and whatever else is going on in the world. AI stealing all of our jobs. Over 32 million players have played Palworld in its first year, according to Pocket Pair. This comes via Jordan Midler over at VGC. But really, it comes directly from Pocket Pair because they provided an update on their upcoming roadmap, which, according to the studio, will continue to update the early access version of the game with features like co-op crossplay, final bosses, ending scenarios, world transfers for pals, and more.
I don't remember playing this at all. I know I did a preview. I know I played it on stream. I don't. It's just been, I guess I've probably done like 60 reviews. Oh, it changed a lot within a week of me doing this like early access impressions thing.
Yeah. 32 million players.
Yeah.
Wow. Impressive. Good for them.
32 million
Congrats to
lawsuits,
Pocket
the
Play.
amount they'll have to face from Nintendo now.
Yeah, well, Nintendo, make a really, really good open world Pokemon game and you'll have people back on your side. Yeah.
It doesn't even matter. Like, oh, I didn't put it in there, but Niantic was looking to sell off their gaming division, which includes Pokemon Go, to a Saudi Arabian-based subsidiary. Yeah. So, a couple bill, 3.5 billion was the rumored price. It's a lot of money. It's more than that's a Bungie.
Wowee. That's a lot. And that's it, though, folks. That's all the news, pretty much. A succinct 1 hour of video game news and info. So we hope you've enjoyed the show. If you haven't hit that like button yet, be sure to do before you close your browser and move on with your life. We'll be back on Saturday, but I won't be. Jesse will be joined by Ursel and Kaya Sante for this week's Xbox.
It's a very handsome episode of the podcast. Yeah,
Nick and I are out. So there you go. Jesse and I will be back on Tuesday next week for Xbox Era headlines. Usual.
Hey, we're going to be back on Monday.
Oh God, we got the stream.
Yeah, we're doing a stream. So it was just going to be the idea at Xbox, but also Annapurna's doing one an hour before. So we'll go live at 11:45 p.m. Eastern US. John and Ursel will pop in and out with me. We'll just do a co-stream of the whole thing, and then we'll talk about it on Tuesday.
Wait. 11:45 p.m.
a.m.
Okay.
11:45 a.m.
Like
yeah, no, it starts at 5 o'clock for you. Yeah, it starts at 5 p.m. for you.
Okay, I need to pre-plan a dinner because I have my kids on Monday.
Yeah,
so
but also like it's the setup on the co-stream where you can pop in or out, no problem. It's just automatically resizes for people.
Pleasure. And last to see us out, CEO of Xbox Era, Tom Raptor, says thanks for the headlines. You're most welcome, my friend. Yeah, we'll see you soon. Play video games. Go play Avowed because that's like really good. And we'll see you next week.
Ciao for now.
Bye-bye.
See the future, 'cause I repeat the same routine. I think I used to have a purpose, then again that might have been a dream. I think I used to have a voice, now I never make a sound. I just do what I've been told, I really don't want them to come around. Oh no. Every day is exactly the same. Every day is exactly the same. There is no love here and there is no pain. Every day is exactly the same. I can feel their eyes are watching, in case I lose myself again. Sometimes I think I'm happy here, sometimes yeah, I still pretend. I can't remember how this got started, oh, but I can tell you exactly how it will end. Every day is exactly the same. Every day is exactly the same. There is no love here and there is no pain. Every day is exactly the same. I'm writing on a little piece of paper. I'm hoping someday you might find. Well, I'll hide it behind something they won't look behind. I am still inside. A little bit comes bleeding through. I wish this could have been any other way, but I just don't know. I don't know what can do.